This is the kind of video where you're going to watch it and think, I can't believe I just learned that for free. I really want to give you the entire blueprint for transformation because you're going to know, especially if you've tried like a diet before, you're going to know it's literally not just going to the gym and sticking to the meal plan. Like there's a whole mental aspect that nobody talks about. And I want to give you the full blueprint, the full system, so you can actually get in shape for summer. As you can see, my guy on the screen here, Jake, he absolutely smashed it. On the left, he was 74 kilos. And on the right pictures, he is 66 kilos. So as you can see, he's dropped a lot of body fat, gained a lot of muscle, and I'm going to walk you through exactly what we did to achieve that transformation. So the traps, this is where most people go wrong, and it's something that I see all of the time, especially being a coach myself. I speak to a lot of people and I ask them, what are you doing right now? Where are you going wrong, etc. And these are the things that come to mind. So crash dieting, whether it's the sugar diet, whether it's going carnivore, going keto. Don't get me wrong, I like those diets, but they have to be used correctly. Whether it's just doing a standard diet, but unsustainably low calories, it's really never going to work. Multitasking, so you're trying to achieve like 10 things at once. No, it's not going to work. You need solo focus on one thing. Outcome based habits. We'll get into this on a deeper level during the presentation, but outcome based habits, to say it easily, would be this: I'm on a diet to lose 5 kilos. The moment that it gets difficult, you're not going to stick with that. It's out the window. Again, excluding the foods that you love. I've had so many guys start with me and they're like, oh, so what am I going to be eating? And I'm like, what do you like? Like, unless your favorite food is ice cream, we can get you results eating what you love. And excluding what you love actually hinders you more, because guess what? The best diet is the one that you can stick to. So if you exclude everything that you love, it's just going to go downhill. This is one that I mainly see with either guys that are just starting out or the guys that hire like a bodybuilder for their coach, and now they're doing 6 times 30-minute Stairmaster a day and 15,000 steps. I don't know about you, but most people I know do not have time to do that. Maybe you've got a business, maybe you've got a job, maybe you've got a family. There's no fucking way you're going to have time to do that. And that leads into my last point, which is a protocol that's just unfit for your lifestyle. It's going to fuck you up. You're not going to be able to do it. And then you're going to have this like tarnished view of getting in shape. Maybe it's not for me. Maybe I don't have the genetics. No, you just didn't have the plan. So the foundations are as follows. I can only tell you about the exact process that I do with everybody in FMF, because this is what I do. This is what I did for myself. And this is what you need to do as well. So we get into identity creation. So I ask exactly, who do you want to become? How do they look? Send me a picture of someone's physique that you like. I want you to have a crystal clear view on the exact person that you want to become. From that, I will then create the daily operating system. And that is a stack of habits that you can do every single day. And you can also, if you was just to do those habits every single day, you would become the man that you identified in identity creation. So the daily operating system is just the ideal you reverse engineered into a set of habits. Then the physique design. I go, how would you like to look? They tell me how they want to look. That then gets translated, reverse engineered into the training split design. It's all well and good of saying, oh, yeah, I just want to improve everywhere. Okay, cool. But what are the things in your physique that would make you really happy to see? Jake, he said to me, I want to start to see my abs. I want to have bigger shoulders, better arms, and I want to bring up my back. And as you can see, that's exactly what we did. Then the nutrition protocol. That needs to be designed for your needs and then translated into a meal plan. The meal plan is something that you enjoy, you can stick to, is made of your favorite foods, and it fits with your lifestyle. Supplement protocol is to address anything that's missing from your nutrition protocol and anything that you're deficient in, whether that's personally, diet, or lifestyle wise. And then we need to install the new standards aligned with your ideal. This is maybe the most important thing. Once we've instilled those new standards, you then get into a place where you're like, I'm acting in alignment with my vision. You know, my ideal self is 12% body fat. So I don't go out and get drunk and eat kebabs, because that is literally the opposite of who I want to be. And this is exactly what the foundations look like. So as you can see, these are the daily habits that I set for Jake. This is his habit stack, or this is some of them. Everything you can see at the top there are his habits. And then we have some metrics that auto track from his Apple Watch. And then some of the details that he enters, for example, his body weight when he wakes up. Then you can see here a screenshot of his meal plan from his upper day. So that's just a screenshot of the first 2 meals. And then as you can see on his rest day, they're a little bit different because we bring the carbohydrate down on a rest day because they're not really required there. But we'll get into that in a second. And then when it comes to training, you just need something that builds your ideal physique. And guess what? You can follow every week and progress those lifts over time. So this is the fix. We get crystal clear on exactly who you want to become, and then you live as him. The way he trains, eats, works, recovers, his habits, and most importantly, the things that he doesn't do. Then we create a system that enhances your life, builds you into the man that you want to be. Not a 3-month sprint, a system that genuinely can become part of your life, and most importantly, your identity. Meals that you love that get bigger or smaller depending on the goal. That's extremely important. And training that you enjoy and can be modulated depending on the goal. For example, if you wanted to bring up your side delts, we can increase the volume there and we can bring down the volume elsewhere. And then a daily operating system that makes your ideal self inevitable. That could not be more important, because training, perfect. Of course, we want to look better. We want to be stronger. We want to build that physique. But guess what? I know plenty of fucking losers with a 6-pack. You want to be the complete man, right? Not just a one-trick pony. Then we get into the system. So you create your winning day and you repeat this every day. So that's the stack of habits that align with your ideal self. Remember, you start with exactly who you want to be. Then you reverse engineer that into who you want to become, yeah, as a daily process. And then you just do that day every single day. Training sessions, they're anchored to the day of the week because that makes them non-negotiable. So for example, quads is Monday, chest is Tuesday, Wednesday is rest, Thursday is back, Friday is shoulders. We rest and we recover on the weekend. Highest carbs around training. I hope this would be self-explanatory, but from the amount of people that I speak to that have their biggest hit of carbohydrates while they sit on the sofa watching TV with their missus and then complain that they're overweight, it maybe needs to be said. More fats on high focus work days. So if there's a lot of cognitive requirements within your profession, your job, your business, getting maxed out on carbs isn't going to be good. I speak to loads of guys, oh, I've got brain fog, but I need to hit X, Y, and Z calories. Okay, well, it'd be much easier to have a large serving of carbohydrates pre, intra, post workout. The rest of the day, you could have smaller portions of carbs or no carbs. And then guess what? You put the fats up because that's going to give you stable energy. So more fats on the higher focus work days. Training day, this is for a fat loss phase. We just did a 200 calorie deficit, high protein, high carbs, low fats. And then on the rest day, we did a 500 calorie deficit with lower carbs, moderate fats, and the same protein. If you're carnivore, higher fats on training day, lower fats on rest day, protein stays the same. So alignment, this is when identity shifts and everything lines up naturally. Training, remember, this is fixed to your calendar. 4 meals or 5 meals. I prefer 4. That seems to work best for most people, especially if you're busy. Habits, the daily safeguard. So all you do is ask yourself this question: does this align with my ideal self? If the answer is yes, you do it. If no, you don't. Alignment of training, nutrition, and habits makes your ideal physique inevitable. It makes your ideal self inevitable. Now, this is the exact system that I've used to change my own life and many guys that I've worked with, Jake included. If you would like a done for you system where we literally create your ideal self and make it the reality, the link is below to work with me one-to-one, and you'll get this all done for you. Access to my community of absolute killers, and of course, my FMF coaching app. If that's you, I look forward to hearing from you. But if that ain't you, you got no excuse not to get in shape for summer, because I just gave you the blueprint. So get to work, bro.